Hello, fellow Astroflower readers. This is going to be a special about what we've been seeing in the chakras and the aura in the weekly readings this week, and also in the monthly readings as well. We've got to be said, and you'll be able to see in obviously your weekly reading and the aura and the chakras reading. But there seems to appears to be like, and I haven't. Let me give you some background. Basically, first of all, I've been doing this for 30 years. Dowsing people's chakras for a very long time, and they do change. They change every 5 minutes. All the time, constantly, depending on the sort of emotions that we're applying, the situation that is around us, and etc. It's like an interface with the rest of the world that is around us in an energetical sort of sense. And then we get the application of the body itself entwined with that. So we get the notion of three. We get the sort of pyramidal, or the trilogy, as it were, sort of situation. Therefore, we can have clarity. So when I've been dowsing the chakras at the moment, and I've just been doing Tanya's chakras as well, and looking at her aura, and I was sitting there just observing her aura, and I can see on the right hand side something going on. We'll go into that afterwards. So in the readings this week, for the weekly readings, there was this whole process that's coming up this week, which is igniting, it's like an ignition of a conscious understanding, a conscious lesson that we all seem to be getting from different angles. So, depending on what you're living in your life, will depend on how that lesson is sort of reproduced. It's according to the person, but the essentials seem to be pretty much the same. And it appears to be a stage where we're going into a new paradigm. I think we're already there personally. And as we go into this new paradigm, it's going to mean that we're going to need a different type of interface with the consciousness, with the energy that is around us. And in the monthly readings, I said there appears to be a lesson of how we configure our energy to the world around us, to our emotions. That's what it was, to our emotions. And looking and dowsing more chakras on people and seeing if there's some sort of consensus between it all. And there is one consensus. So normally you get the, let's just go through how the heart appears to me. It's like this disc that sort of goes round you. It looks like a scallop shell. So you've got the fan out the front that goes like that, and a little fan out the back. But you have two of these. So it's just like a scallop shell that sort of sits in one another. So the petals sort of go like that, as it were. If you imagine that's one petal and that's one petal, it sort of goes like that. So it sits in each other. So then you can sort of allow people coming close to your heart, but not in. And then you can sort of, see how that person is and everything like that. Or you can open your heart. Or there is another way where you're opening it like that. And as you get the people in, you sort of gradually feel it, pull it back into your heart. So there's many ways of doing it. But so that's the heart chakra, is like that sort of thing. Now, if you imagine that's the heart chakra, the solar plexus is like a daffodil in a way. It's like that, a classic trumpet. It's as classic as you can get. The solar plexus, there's no messing around with it. It's doing stuff. It's building. It's it's passion. It's determination. It's confidence. It's courage. It's also that gut feeling as well, because that defines what sort of courage you need to do, what sort of confidence you need to have for a situation. So it feels a lot as well. It's very intuitive, as much as the heart is intuitive. In fact, every other chakra is very intuitive. The only ones that I would perceive as not being intuitive to a certain extent that's concerned with you as a person, bizarrely, is the third eye, because that's just like a processor of information. It doesn't actually do the intuitive factor. It just processes the intuition. So it makes it understandable for your good selves, for every one of us. And then you've got the crown chakra and the root chakra. Now that's a different type of energy. And this is where we come into the fusion of the solar plexus and the heart. So normally the heart sits on, it's nicely warmed by the solar plexus, and it sits on. There's no fusing between it. If the heart grows, the solar plexus will widen and it will make very nice warm water, very loving and stuff like that. Or if the solar plexus really gets pushed out in front, that's when there's a lot of defense, a lot of, you put up those strong boundaries, and you shall not pass sort of scenario. But they don't really fuse as such. They slip over one another. There's no problem. But here is like, as if you imagine the solar plexus is like this trumpet like that. And normally this section here at the top sits on this heart chakra, who's got these petals that go underneath, as it were. And these petals seem to be fusing, so it almost is becoming one. Now, how does energy come into your body? This is an important understanding. It doesn't come through your root chakra, and it doesn't come through your crown chakra. You might have been told this. As far as I can tell, it's not that case. Okay? We have to rely on symmetry or sacred geometry, if you like. So it's not in the heart and it's not in the solar plexus. Okay? It's actually just behind the sternum. So anybody out there who does Chinese medicine, you'll realize that this is an acupunctural point which is used to accelerate your energy, the circulation of your chi, basically. Now, this is a point where the energy, if you imagine, this is you as a person, as an energetic person. This is the energy that comes from the earth, and we sit on it like that. And that's how it is. So we're not sitting on it like that, because it just doesn't work. We sit as a sphere like that, as much as exactly the same situation as the sun has got a connection to the earth, and we know this. NASA knows all about these. These are the geomagnetic cords that go between the sun and the earth that keeps us in our position, and it goes right to the center of the earth. And this goes right to your center of your being, which is just behind the sternum. Now, once you start getting these two chakras that are fusing, that's the point of energy. It's like a chakra that doesn't go outward. It's totally within. I can't even douse it in a way because it's inside the body. I'd have to, break the skin in a way because it's so tight. It's so defined. And with these fusing of these two chakras, it's fusing around that central point, which is our connection to everything. And this is where we come onto the aura. The aura appears to be molting. It's shedding a layer. Now, we've got it's the electromagnetic fields of the right and left hand wall. So we've got this vertical energy that goes between the crown and the root. Yeah, that is your vertical energy. Your horizontal energies are your chakras. Okay? And then you have the third one, which is the directional flow. And then you'll be able to see in there, you get a spiral. So it's got a different for the left and right hand walls. So depending on how things spiral. And it's not the actual chakra that's spiraling, it's the energy that's going around that makes us give us the impression that it's spiraling. It's like looking at a car wheel that's next to you, driving next to you, and it might appear to be going backwards. It's not, but it appears to be. Okay, so the chakras don't actually spin per se. It's just the energy that, as it goes, circulates through the chakra, actually gives that perception. Okay, so with this vertical and horizontal, this vertical energy is all about our raison d'être. So the crown and the root chakra are the same chakra. That's your front, that's your back. So your root chakra is the back of the chakra, the crown is the front of the chakra, and that creates that staff of Tot, that goes down, and then we have the kundalini that snakes up, the energy that snakes up, and in the crossing points, that's what makes the chakras. Okay? It's very basic stuff. I go into this in my workshops, to be honest, but, you know, I love doing my workshops. Anyway, I'm digressing. This is where we come into the consciousness and the aura. Now, the crown chakra is like a cup, like that. And within the cup, there's this disc, which is almost like excess amount of cord or energy cables that you can then pull into your consciousness, so you can expand a certain chakra at a certain moment to expand your consciousness. And then it has to be recollected in, and it goes back into your consciousness and processed in your crown chakra. Your crown chakra seems to be the interaction that you have and how it puts it all together with the outside world. Your root is how you are perceiving the world from outside and going at you. So it's almost like looking at you. It's the fundamental things of our lives, you know, belief systems and stuff like that. You know, fight or flight as well, sort of survival sort of thing in a way. Well, it's more into the sacrum, to be honest. But anyway, it goes into these fundamental raison d'etres of who we are as people. And they tend to sort of cross the board. They sort of connect with everybody. And what's happening is that's, in a way, you get your portal at the top, which is, you know, you have, this is like the layers of the onion or your magnetic field. So we've got more than one layer on our magnetic field. They're not like chakras. They're very much more lucid or fluid in their sense. They don't have a direct sense like chakras do. It tends to have like a global sense to it. So it's not tied to one thing or another, if you like. So as I've been looking in the crown chakra, that consciousness that is in the crown chakra in everybody seems to be growing, and it seems to be pushing a lesson through our aura. Like it's pushing another layer between the layers of the onion. And as it pushes between the layers of the onion, it amalgamates two layers into one. This, I think, is that conscious understanding, that conscious lesson that we're going through in what I've been calling this funny February, before we go into lots of changes in March. And it's how we interact with the world around us in an energetical sort of sense. And this is changing for everyone. So once we start fusing these two chakras, the solar plexus and the heart chakra, I think people are going to live things directly. They're going to live their emotions directly. They're no longer going to be acquisite, as someone was saying today, to the narrative, to what is being presented to us. Because it's almost as if nature is taking on something and saying, look, this is how it is, and this is how it works. And it's going to make the rest, a lot of the human noise that we have in our society just seem, oh, that was really stupid. You know, there is obviously eternal truth in everything. But at the same time, we're going to be, it's almost as if like, you know, you can't see very well and you've put on a set of glasses and all of a sudden they're kind of going, oh, right, now I can see. Have you ever seen those videos of those people who've got, is it Daltonian, where they have colour blindness and then they put these glasses on and then all of a sudden they can see the colours? It's exactly like that. It's just going to change the way we live. And people are going to maybe, and this is what's maybe coming out, and this is where you can notice it within your life. Are we going to be living things on direct? Are you living things on direct, as it were? Are you being able to be very clear about what you want in life, and it may not equate to what we've been living up to now. It is really a new paradigm, a new earth that is being born. And it doesn't necessarily mean another physical planet, although that is what is happening within our solar system. It's one of the options that the solar system has as we go through this pole shift. It's to grow another planet inside of Mercury. So this is this new earth that's coming through. With this new earth, the new vibration is sort of saying, if you really want to connect with it, you've got to go through this process. And I personally haven't looked whether it's happening to certain people and not others. I haven't looked into that. I've got to look into that. What I would like from your side is basically any noticing things that you've realized that you tend to do without thinking. Just kind of like go, I'm going to do, no, sorry, this is how it goes. This is how I want it. Is it that sort of thing? Saying things that they're not fantastic, but they're just sort of very direct, very on the ball, very speaking straight from the heart, basically, but with courage and conviction and reason, and raison d'etre. Is this sort of thing happening in your life? Are we seeing this outside? It's possible that we could sort of note, with Harry Windsor and how he's, people are asking for action on situations rather than, giving a nice speech to sort of smooth over the cracks. It's now a case of kind of going, no, people want to see action. And is this happening around you? Have you noticed a change within the people? Because this is something that, obviously, I'm giving my point of view, but we are all part of this, and we need everybody's point of view. It's going to be much better if you're part of it as well. Okay? So, it's noticing that sort of fiery desire in the heart, and if you're not connected with your emotions, you may find that it drives a lot of your emotions up into your crown chakra, which is good, but it's not that great either, because it causes a lot of complications. It's very moon card for those of you watching the tarot section. It's like a moon card you end up with. You can't really see things. It clouds your judgment in a way and relies literally on the sort of internal logic rather than the internal logic connected to the outside world. So you may find you've got heavy emotions at the moment that's going around at the top of your head. And that's where you need to sort of encourage the root chakra. And I have noticed a tightening of the root chakra in order to make that crown chakra just pull up a little bit, which is going to squeeze those emotions out and allow those emotions to return to the heart so we can be emotionally direct with our consciousness that is around us. There's one more thing I want to talk about, which is pole shift. Now, every single planet in the solar system has been affected magnetically, and therefore it's been affected physically, because this is how it works magnetically, or energy, material, action, as it were. And for example, Pluto has lost its atmosphere. Venus is traveling faster or slower, I can't quite remember. You'll find out which one it is. The Earth itself is speeding up. We also had words that the centre of the Earth may not actually be spinning anymore. These are natural events. We're still here. I'm still here. You're still here. And the Earth and everything stopped. It may mean there's lots of changes in the future. But what it means, I think, on an energetic level, is the fact that there is a change in the environment that the Earth is in, And there's a change also of the environment that the sun is in. We're going through what is called the galactic plane. And as it goes through the galactic plane, it moves from negative to positive polarization, magnetics. Okay? So as it's going through, it goes through this section, in the midsection, the galactic plane, and that's where you get a lot of collection of dust and stuff like that, which we're finding a lot more within our solar system and covering our sun. And this is affecting everything, and it's affecting also the Earth. There's major sort of changes that are happening on this planet at the moment, meteorologically, physically, energetically. There's loads of things going on the Earth at the moment, which is also in line with what's going on the other planets within our solar system. So if we are completely 100% dependent upon this Earth, if you get the poles, they invert in them through the middle. They don't invert like that. You will get that perception at the end, but the actual inversion goes in the middle like that, and then goes boop, and then that's what makes that go the outer shell, which we are on the outer shell or on the middle of the magnetic field of the Earth. Maybe a bit too much information. I'm probably going off a little bit. That could be done for another day. So yeah, it's a fascinating situation at the moment in concerns with human energies and human emotions and determination. So it'd be really interesting to see your observations from your side that you can leave in the comments below, because we're going to be following this through over the next month or next month and a half, 2 months. So you're really going to want to sort of get on with get involved, as it were, in a way, in order so we might be able to contribute collectively to understanding the changes that is within us as individuals as much as it is with us collectively. And the more we can do that, the outcome could be quite extraordinary. So there you go. You will have your weekly readings coming out this week. I will be separating on the days, the Monday, Tuesday and the Wednesday. I will be doing the chakras and aura readings, and the Thursday, Friday and Saturday will be the tarot readings. And I'm going to leave Sunday for these special sort of deeper delves into human energies. Okay, we have also got a shorts section which is going to be the tarot of the day as well, which is just very simple stuff. They're very short videos. We'll try and keep them obvious on the thumbnail, so if it's not your sort of thing, you can just concentrate on the weekly readings, the deeper diving readings. Okay, thank you everybody for being part of the Astroflower. It is an amazing journey, absolutely loving it, and so whatever you do, whatever is happening in life,